Alright, are we good?
No,
that was me.
Oh, that's you.
Schoolboy.
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Schoolboy does these things. Okay. Alright, go forward with those. Go forward with the jokes, Polly.
I take no ownership of these jokes. They're from Reddit. Okay, here we go. A priest, a minister, and a rabbi. A priest, a minister, and a rabbi are on a fishing trip. They get out on the water, and the priest goes, "Oh darn, I forgot the picnic basket." So he proceeds to step out of the boat and walk to shore, grabs the picnic basket, comes back to the boat. The rabbi looks on in bewilderment. The minister looks around as he's about to cast and realizes, "I forgot the tackle box." He also proceeds to get out of the boat and walk to shore, grabs the tackle box, and heads back to the boat. The rabbi is absolutely shocked at this point. Finally, the rabbi turns to the priest and the minister and says, "I forgot the bait." He steps out of the boat and splashes around in the water. The priest turns to the minister and says, "You forgot to show him where the rocks are, didn't you?" With an alternative twist to this joke apparently being, the minister replies, "Nah, it was the only way to get him baptized."
Oh! I love it.
That's awesome.
And I kid you not, the rest of the posts under this are just people explaining it to other people saying, "I don't understand."
Wow.
The priest and the minister didn't walk on the water. They stepped underwater on underwater rocks. The rabbi didn't know about this. It's funny because the holy men appeared to be doing something miraculous, but they weren't. Get it? Ha ha. Jesus Christ.
That's the joke.
That was pretty good. That was a half decent, clean joke actually, because you half expect them to be filthy as fuck, right? For some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, it's all of us.
The only people who would get triggered by that joke are anti-religious folk.
Okay. A priest, a minister, and a rabbi decide to have a friendly competition to see who's the best at their job. To make things interesting, they agree to see who is best at converting the bears in the local woods. A week passes, and they get together to compare notes. The priest says, "I was walking through the woods and came upon a patch of berries, where there was only a bear gathering berries. I walked up to the bear and gave him the Holy Communion, and thus converted the bear." The minister goes, "I too was walking through the woods and came across a stream. There was a bear in the stream, catching fish. So I waded out to him and baptized the bear right there, and so converting him." The priest and the minister look over at the rabbi, and this guy is in rough shape. He's in total traction with a full body cast, cuts and scrapes to his face and hands. "Oi!" the rabbi says. "In retrospect, I shouldn't have led with the circumcision."
That's a good. I've heard that one before.
Have you? Is the rabbi the butt of the joke in every one of these jokes?
Yes. It's completely anti-Semitic.
Far would love these jokes.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it's a boy or it's a girl. Sorry, I'm watching do-it-yourself home decor things.
Okay.
Polly, can you not answer me like that? It makes me feel very belittled.
Belittled.
You're a grown man watching home decor.
I'm a gay grown man watching home decor. I get a pass.
Not in this area.
He's not in your area.
Honey, in all areas I get a pass for watching home decor. I'm gay.
Not Pakistan, you wouldn't.
In Pakistan, I'd be killed.
If you were in Iran, you'd be turned into a woman.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah, I'm sorry,
true.
Tyrion.
That's true. I'd be a woman, yeah. I'd
Uh,
be turned into a woman.
There'd be a lot more than getting killed if you went to Pakistan, I tell you what.
Oh, that's
They'd
the end
test
result.
They would
So a
test
man
the
goes to a
theory.
mixed religion seminar.
Oh,
The
God.
Christian priest came and laid his hands on the man's head and said, "By the will of Jesus Christ, you will walk today." He smiled and told him he was not paralyzed. The rabbi came and laid his hands on the man's head and said, "By the will of God Almighty, you will walk today." I was less amused and he told the man there was nothing wrong with him. The mullah came and took his hands and said, "Inshallah, you will walk today." The man snapped at him, "There's nothing wrong with me." The Buddhist monk came, held the man's head, and said, "By the will of the great Buddha, you will walk today." The man rudely said there was absolutely nothing wrong with him. After the sermons, the man stepped outside to find his car had been stolen. It's so
Yeah.
fucking lame. It's so lame.
Oh, that's good.
And we're still laughing about it.
That was so good. Nice clean jokes here, buddy.
It wasn't even the rabbi the butt of the joke there, at least.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I don't. I guess there really was no subject of the joke. It was. Just,
It was the guy. He was the subject.
yeah. Well, it's. Apparently, they just couldn't tell him clearly. Your car has been stolen. They had to put it in religious terms. The Catholic priest is taking a walk through the woods when a hungry bear runs into his path. When he sees it, he immediately starts to lumber toward him for some dinner. So the priest, who is terrified, turns to the sky and says, "God, turn this bear into a Catholic bear." The bear stops, gets down on his knees, and says, "Bless us, O Lord." What's the joke?
He's praying before he eats him. He's
Oh
saying,
my God.
He's like, yes, we were He's doing
That's
the Catholic
the
dinner
joke.
prayer.
Oh God, yeah. Here's a Catholics do baptism and communion or any other sacrament
match
often before
starts
meals.
soon.
It's okay, I get it.
Well, they just pray before they eat.
Here's a half decent one. A priest, a rabbi, and a minister walk into a bar. The bartender says, "What is this, a joke?"
Seize theirs.
Oh.
Jesus.
No. It's a priest, and a rabbi, and a minister, not Jesus.
I mean, there's two of them that think Jesus is there. One of them killed him.
Who?
You've captured the altar.
A Catholic
Ain't
priest, a
nobody
rabbi,
killing
and
him
an
for that.
atheist walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Oh God damn it, no.
Your enemy has the
We
game.
don't like jokes in here, and if you guys are a part of one, you're gonna have to leave right now." So the Catholic priest, the rabbi, and the atheist leave the bar, and a chicken walks in. The bartender says, "Oh, come on. We don't serve chickens in here." The chicken says, "Do you know somewhere that does?" The bartender says, "Yeah." The chicken asks, "Well, where is it?" The bartender says, "It's across the road."
Oh!
Like, fucking hell, man. That's just terrible.
That is really
Somebody-
bad.
Somebody spent the energy to type that out. Can you believe it?
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. It answers the question. That's all that was needed.
An obnoxious drunk stumbles into the front door of a bar and orders a drink. The bartender says, "No way, buddy. You're too drunk." A few minutes later, the drunk comes in through the bathroom. Again, he slurs, "Give me a drink." And the bartender says, "No, man, I told you last time. You're too drunk." 5 minutes later, the guy comes in through the back door and orders a drink. Again, the bartender says, "You're too drunk." The drunk scratches his head and says, "Dang, I must be. The last two places I went said the same thing."
I have a joke about drinking. It's probably gonna fall on deaf ears with you guys, but like, so there's
But
an
yet you
alcoholic
proceed.
Yeah, absolutely. An alcoholic walks into a bar and orders 12 shots. Bartender pours him 12 shots, and he starts with the last one and works his way forward. He stops at the last one, pays the bartender, and walks away. Bartender hollers him down and says, "Aren't you going to finish this one?" And he says, "No. I have a problem when it starts with the first one."
Oh my god.
Your enemy has the temple now.
A priest and a rabbi had become good friends and were talking. The priest asked the rabbi if he had ever eaten anything that wasn't kosher. The rabbi thought a few minutes and said, "Well, I was young before and I committed myself to being a rabbi, and I did have a ham sandwich back then." The rabbi took the question as an opportunity to ask the priest something he had been wondering about for some time. "So, have you ever had sex?" The priest sighed and after a pause said, "Well, once when I was a Sumerian, and before I had taken my vows, a seminarian, and before I had taken my vows, I did have sex with a girl I thought I was in love with." The rabbi paused for a few minutes, grinned, and said, "Beats a ham sandwich, doesn't it?"
Jeez Louise.
Poor priest.
I'm dead. Dang it.
I grabbed that joke from Quora, you know, the website Quora.com.
Sure.
People show up there and ask questions about all kinds of things. Anyway, underneath that joke is related questions, and it's just that somebody typed this stuff out is great. Do priests and rabbis get along? How does a priest differ from a rabbi? Is Abe Finkelstein a real rabbi? Is enlightenment a joke? What are priest payments? How much do rabbis get paid?
Enough to live.
Your enemy sees the altar.
Do all priests believe in God? Well, maybe not, but one would like to think, I think. Which priests persecuted Christ? Whoa.
Sorry.
Oh, right there.
You said that Christ, you said that.
Damn it! So close to killing them. Shit.
What?
So Polly, tell us about Jesus. Now that we were so rudely interrupted by this heathen.
What would you like to know? I'm not a very knowledgeable man.
Tell us how Jesus hates cussing.
Well, I don't know about adult Jesus, but cussing makes baby Jesus cry. At least so I've been told.
Well, good thing Jesus isn't a baby. Because that's
But
fucking
he was at one
weird.
point, you see.
Right. Oh, right, and he's omnipresent, so he's existing in the future and the past at the same time. So anytime I
Both a baby
swear,
and an adult, apparently, yes.
anytime I swear now, he's crying back then.
Your enemy has the temple.
If
You
you
don't.
want to know, I could whip out my New Testament.
No,
You're...
no.
I doubt it.
I
Dog.
can probably quote you more New Testament than you could read.
Ooh,
Snap!
ooh.
You've captured
No
the altar.
offense.
I
Oh,
actually
yes.
believe it.
No, totally offense.
Tranquility has
Total
appeared.
offense.
Wow.
You know,
Never
it's
read the
funny,
Old
I actually
Testament,
only know... I actually only know two quote-unquote Jew jokes. Apparently there's thousands of them out there, but I've only ever heard two. And
Look up
one
the Jew
of them-
jokes.
What's that?
How?
Look up the Jew jokes.
How do I only know two of them?
No, no, no,
Because I don't
sorry.
hang around with a bunch of white nationalists, apparently. Why don't you regale us with your plethora of anti-Semitic comedy there?
It's not what
He'd
I'm
have to
saying.
get far on.
Oh, okay. I must have misunderstood.
What was the greatest awkward silence of the first half of the 20th century?
When you told this joke.
When Hitler saw his gas bill.
Oh, shit.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Hey guys. Who's the best Jewish cook?
Hitler?
Hitler.
Hitler.
Do you guys not have any jokes that are Jew jokes that don't end like that? You're terrible people.
What's the
Awful.
difference between a black person and a Jew?
Yeah, it's so
Sees
lost.
the altar.
The black person's already cooked.
No, the black person has to sit at the back of the oven.
Wow. Hey, what's the difference between a Jew and a dollar? I'd
Tell
care
us.
if I lost $6 million.
Oh!
I disavow all the humor that's going on right now.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you
were
don't.
laughing when you're mute.
I do.
Did.
I've got, like I said, I've got 2 Jew jokes, and neither of them have anything to do with gas chambers. What the hell, people?
Mine had to do with an oven, to be fair.
Well,
Hey, technically I can explain my away with the logistics issue. It just works better if I keep it ambiguous.
That's the joke.
Excuse me.
So
lovely.
let's hear your Jew jokes, Polly.
Well, hold on. Let's check out this one right first here. A rabbi and a priest were sitting together on a train, and the rabbi leans over and asks, "So how high can you advance in your organization?" The priest says, "If I'm lucky, I guess I could become a bishop." "Well, could you get any higher than that?" asked the rabbi. "I suppose that if my works were seen in very good light, that I could become an archbishop," said the priest a bit cautiously. "Is there any way that you might become any higher than that?" "If all the saints would smile, I guess I could become a cardinal," said the priest. "Could you be anything higher than a cardinal, though?" probed the rabbi. Hesitating a little bit, the priest said, "I suppose I could become an elected pope, but..." So the rabbi says, "And is there any way you could possibly be higher than that? Is there anything to go up from being the pope?" "What? I should be the Messiah himself?" The rabbi leaned back and said, "Well, one of our boys made it."
Oh!
Damn!
Oh snap.
That was good.
That's pretty good. That was good. So apparently there is a fuck ton of rabbi and a priest jokes out there.
Challenge.
Apparently so. Far's gonna enjoy listening to this later on, because she'll be the only one to watch my stream.
You think
What
so?
other Jew jokes do you have there, Polly?
Well, they don't involve killing anybody, so I don't know if you guys would find them funny.
Tell us.
This one was told to me by a Jewish friend of mine. Okay, so there's this. Wait a minute, I think I already told you guys this.
Tell us anyways.
From the Daily Mail, a rabbi, a priest, and an atheist walk into a dispensary. No, this is not a setup for a joke. There's a picture of a rabbi, a priest, and an atheist sitting there around.
No, this is not a setup. It's hilarious.
Okay, so there's this guy, Shlomo, and he's lost his job, and he spent all of his savings, and he's running out of money. But he spent his entire life being very, very righteous man, and never broken any of the Mosaic laws or anything. So, knowing that this is the case, he knows that God will help him out in his dire financial situation. He tells his family, everything will be okay. I've got a plan. What I'm going to do is just go down to temple every day and pray. And I will ask God for help. So, gets himself ready, goes down to shul, goes down to the temple, and prays fervently, "Dear God, I have served you righteously every day of my life and never broken any of your laws. Please let me win the lottery. I need it for my family." And he comes back the next day and asks the same thing of God. He doesn't win that day, though. He doesn't win the third day. And the fourth day he goes down and he prays again. more fervently and for longer, begging God, I have never done anything against your laws, Creator. Please, let me win the lottery. He's been doing it for 2 weeks. Nothing. On the 13th day, he loses his patience. He goes down to temple, and he starts screaming, God, what did I ever do against you that you wouldn't help me out in my hour of need? We're about to be kicked out of our house. How could you have done this to me? The heavens open up, and a booming voice comes from the sky and says, Shlomo, you gotta meet me halfway. You gotta at least buy the lottery ticket. And
I've heard
apparently,
that before.
I snickered at it. I'm like, oh, that's clever. And she said, you don't understand. Amongst Jews, that's hilarious. And I'm like, why is it hilarious? He goes, you just have to understand Jews. I was like, oh, okay. Apparently there's this whole dimension of humor that I'm missing to that it's just, it
Because
kills.
Jews won't spend money.
I guess that's, I don't know what the joke is. I don't get the dimensions of it, but it lays them out.
Because Jews don't spend money.
And that's the idea?
Yes.
But well, it's a setup in the joke that he has no
You know-
money.
Right. And he hasn't met God halfway. He has to buy the lottery ticket.
And Jew would look at him like, are you fucking nuts? These cost money.
You know when someone says you got Jude?
You must visit more often.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, do you know what that means?
Yes.
Do you know what that means, Polly?
Yes,
Are you
I
sure
know what
you
that
know what
means.
that
Why are
means?
you asking?
Okay, what does it mean?
I'm sure you could describe it in infinite more detail than I could.
Okay, but what do you think it means?
In your own words, what does it mean?
I wouldn't presume to speak in front of such expertise.
What does
Well.
being Jude mean?
Well,
You're breaking up there, you are.
I know I am. My internet is shit.
It means they either oversold you, so they charged more than what it was worth, or they underpaid, so they bought it for less than what it's worth. They don't like to part from a penny. That's the whole thing about it. Tell more racist jokes.
oh, I got a pretty clean Christian joke that I thought was pretty fucking funny. It was more adorable than it was funny, but it made me laugh.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay. So, Jesus is walking around in heaven one day, and he sees all these people that it doesn't seem like they should be there, because he knows how they lived in their earthly life. And he's, well, maybe I'm just wrong about that, but the further he walks along the streets in heaven and so forth, he sees more and more people that don't seem like they should be there. So he goes and talks to St. Peter at the gates of heaven and says, Peter, I see all these people in there, and I'm not certain that they should be there, and you're the gatekeeper, so, what's going on? And St. Peter says, Lord, I'm not really sure that you would like the answer. It's just let it go. And Jesus says, no, Peter, come on. This is heaven. You're the gatekeeper. You got to tell me. Because, Lord, I'm being serious. I really don't think that it's the kind of thing that we should get into. Just let it go. And Jesus says, Peter, I demand that you tell me, how have these people gotten in? He says, well, they came here to the gate. I looked them up in the Book of Life. I said that they're not welcome here. Then they went around to the back door, and your mother
Hold
let
on
them
to
in.
your point.
Damn.
That kills amongst Catholics.
Oh
That
my
fucking
God.
kills.
It's amazing.
And I told actually that joke to my friend, and she's like, "Oh, that's funny." And I'm like, and I said, in the same way amongst Catholics, that lays them out. Okay, it's
Point sheet is yours now.
I got one for you.
okay.
So, there's this guy, very devout Christian man, and he's in the middle of a flood. So, the rain starts coming down, and he starts praying, God, I need you to rescue me, God. I need you to save me from this. So the rain starts coming down, and this car pulls up, and it's like, hey, hop in, man. Come with us. And he's like, no, God's gonna save me.
I've heard this one.
So the water gets a little higher, and a boat comes by, and he said, hey, hop in, we'll rescue you. And he says, no, I don't need you, God's gonna save me. So eventually the waters get so high that he has to climb on his roof, and he's sitting there praying to God, God, come save me, God, come save me. And a helicopter comes by, and they say, hop in with us, we'll rescue you. And he says, no, God's gonna save me. Well, eventually the floodwaters rise, he drowns, he goes up to the gates of heaven, and he says, I don't understand, God. You said, I expected you to save me from that. And he said, I sent you a car, a boat, and a helicopter. What more did you want?
This one has a little cartoon rabbi on it. I don't know if this is going to turn out to be rabidly anti-Semitic or not. Let's find out. The priest was called away for an emergency, not wanting to leave the confessional unattended. He called his rabbi friend from across the street and asked him to cover for him. The rabbi told him he wouldn't know what to say, but the priest told him to come over, and he'd stay with him for a little while, and a little bit, and show him what to do. The rabbi comes, and he and the priest are in the confessional. After a few moments, a woman walks in and says, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. The priest asks, what did you do? The woman says, I committed adultery. The priest asks, how many times? The woman, 3 times. The priest, say 2 Hail Marys and put $5 in the poor box. Go and sin no more. A few minutes later, a man enters the confessional. He says, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. The priest asks, what did you do? The man says, I committed adultery. The priest, how many times? The man says, 3 times. The priest says, say 2 Hail Marys, put $5 in the poor box, and go on and sin no more. The rabbi tells the priest he thinks he's got it, so the priest leaves. A few minutes later, another woman comes in and sits down and says, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. The rabbi asks, what did you do? The woman says, I committed adultery. The rabbi asks, how many times? The woman says, once. The rabbi says, go and do it 2 more times. We have a special this week, 3 for $5.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Point A is yours.
That's great.
Point C is yours now.
That's definitely playing on the money. Aspect of G.
Oh, bit.
Outrun a centaur. Time to do some real damage.
Lawyer jokes.
Oh god.
Thing. Do it. Do it.
Dumb. They're all attacked by a shark, and the shark doesn't need the lawyer. Why not? Professional courtesy.
Impressive combination.
The enemy has point A.
And there are a whole bunch of versions of that. Ham sandwich versus sex thing between rabbi and priest or rabbi and minister.
Oh, it's 2 o'clock, guys, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Alright.
Okay.
Good night.
All right.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Don't forget, guys, Polly's gonna be on the monkey stream tomorrow.
Oh, he is.
Are you really?
Yeah, we'll see if I show up on time.
You
Don't
better.
embarrass us. You represent the minions. Don't embarrass us.
Quaaludes forever.
God.
Good night, guys.
Nighty night.
Have a good night.
Are they pulling you on as a representative of like the minions, or just because it's you?
Actually, it was because of him, I think.
Oh, good. Okay.
I have no idea why it's because.
Well, Monkey wanted you on, man.
Replenishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to the stream the other night. Like, not as it was happening, but later. And yeah, he doesn't really say, just as I reached out to Polydub, and I was like, okay. I don't know why.
Did you have a good interaction with him?
I've
Run a centaur.
never had a stream with Monkey. I've never,
Then he must have seen a stream that you were on,
I mean, he
or
was
one of your videos.
he was in chat the whole time that Scribe was in the Minion stream, which I was on.
That's probably why then.
Probably what did that.
Good chemistry between you and Scribe.
Not bad. I mean, nothing that I would have thought would have warranted anything, but yeah, not bad.
Yeah, but you always
Aw.
think less of yourself.
Yeah, well, Scribe's a tough guy to read. He's very, very good at I don't want to say political speak because that's kind of insulting, but like, people, at other times he said that I don't like that guy or I don't like that woman. And then when asked to speak about them later, he'll say, it won't come through in what he says when you actually already know what he thinks. He's very good at diplomacy in that regard. So he's a tough guy to read, which is probably an advantage to him in his work and stuff. Is, you know.
Mm-hmm. Monkey must have liked you from the interaction.
Yeah, I mean, Hammer brought up a good point, though. He's like, it had to be from the stream, because it's certainly not from all that content you've put out there. I'm like, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still up?
Well, what little that there is, yeah.
Are you gonna make more content?
Probably not.
Why not?
I don't know. I just kind of put it aside for the time being. Haven't really felt a drive to go back to it, so probably not.
Oh.
There's nothing I'm really, I don't really have a strong motivation to be part of the Skeptosphere. I wanted to try my hands at making a video to see what it was like. I was, at the time, enjoying the Vegas program, figuring out the ins and outs of it and stuff, but looking for content the way, like, you know, Monkey, he talks about, like, he had a blog before he was a YouTube content video producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would write stuff, and he said it, and I remember him talking about it, said it wasn't a very difficult crossover, because I had been opinion writing before, and I was used to writing out my thoughts, and which is very similar to writing out scripts. It wasn't a jarring transition at all, and I was like, yeah, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. Whereas the last thing I would want to do is write a blog. And in terms of like I don't feel a desire to take the piss out of feminists or SJW types. There's already a million people doing that, and I enjoy their material so much. So kind of like, I don't know.
Oversaturation kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I don't actually think it's all that oversaturated. It's a small world, very, very small, especially in like overall perspective of what's going on in YouTube writ large. You know, I don't want to do like pick subjects in that way. I would find it far too depressing to do what Scribe does. Scribe's got to be based as fuck.
These guys gave up.
What's that?
I'm sorry.
The guys
Just
you're
my camera.
fighting in Guild Wars there?
Yeah, they just gave up on a PvP match. Just totally gave up. Completely and totally.
Are we still streaming?
Yes, we're still
By
streaming.
the way?
Sorry, I interrupted you, Polly. Keep
Okay.
going.
No, I didn't even think we were still streaming. I
Totally
couldn't do
going.
what Scribe does, man. He's
Yeah.
the guys like Iron Willed who spend all that time going through that depressing ass content, and that's what I mean. He's got to be based as fuck in what he thinks that it just doesn't get to him.
Yeah.
Especially
Well,
watching
he-
academics and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I encounter these people on campus, man, in fucking departmental meetings that I've been
He did say it
shoved
does
into
get
doing
to
from time
him.
to time. It's like, oh man, I see this stuff in live action. I don't want to do videos on it when I get home.
Yeah. Brad. Is there any type of content that you'd like to put out?
Is there any type?
Yeah. Like, would you do like comic book reviews type of stuff, and just like do like bare minimum what you thought of? I think you would be a good, you're a good content creator. Like, the shit you put out is fucking legit quality, in my opinion. And
I would have, like, in terms of a passion of things I want to go after. I was talking about this with Hammer. I'd love to go after vocal atheists and materialists and people of that stripe. I mean, because just endless supply of them online, and YouTube is just such a
Yes.
Hotspot.
Go after the atheists.
hotspot for it. Yeah.
Kill the atheists. Burn them.
Oh,
No, I don't want to kill
Paul
them or
Blart.
burn them. I just, like, if you've, and I mean, it's pretty obvious who I would be going after. If you've arrived at atheism as a philosophic position, or you've arrived at it, like, or irreligiosity, like, I'm just not interested in religion. You know, I just don't have it in my life, and I don't feel a draw to it. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, what's the beef? You know, I don't have one. It's amazing atheist types that I got a beef with. It's like, dude, shut up. It's quit backing up what you're saying by science, reason, rationality, empiricism, logic, because you are none of those things. You don't have a background in any of those things. You couldn't even define them. And I don't mean for an encyclopedia. I mean for yourself. Can you tell me the difference to you between those things? But that's the frustrating thing. That doesn't matter. These guys like Armored Shill and other people like that, I'll just keep saying it. Oh, I believe in rationality and logic. Okay, can you define those things, even loosely, for yourself? I doubt you can. And I'm not saying you even need a formal education in it. Have you even cracked a book to know the difference between those things? Bothered to look it up online at dictionary.com, perhaps? No. I mean, take a look at the way Dr. Lehman went after Armored Shill. It's like, I'm going to just go over all of the factual mistakes, and it's not even nitpicky stuff. It's the huge things. Where he's talking about the Empire of Japan and absolutely describes the shogunate period, the centralized military leadership period of Japan, and calls it Imperial Japan. For hundreds of years, they were an empire, and it's like, no, they weren't. What are you talking about? They had closed off to the outside world for this whole time. He didn't know that. The Wikipedia entry on Japan could have told him that. He didn't bother typing in Japan into Google to find that out. He just said it. It didn't bother him. He'd do it again. It's that type of arrogance that I hate, that I would want to go after. I'm going to pick this small little country church where this one country bumpkin said this one stupid thing about gays or transgenders or something like that and say, see, there's no God. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Do it. I think you should. You have a lot of passion for it, and I think
That's probably the best part,
You
is
know.
that you have passion for it.
I don't know.
And-
I was having a little conversation with Hammer about it, and he said, I don't know. It's. I said, what would you think about this? Me doing this? And he was really straight up, because Hammer's like that, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I could, and he said sort of what you guys said. It's like, yeah, I have no doubt you would have the wherewithal and the passion to see it through. It's just like, do you even want to do that? Because I had expressed to him, like, is that not just rehearsing anger? What the hell's the point? Rehearsing anger for me, I mean. And he's like, I don't know. If I did videos that were on people screwing up MGTOW and talking about MGTOW being beyond the three basic disciplines of no marriage, no kids, no cohabitation. If it was anything more, if you're talking about anything more than that, whatever it is you're talking about is not MGTOW. It's you and your problems with women, and you're calling it MGTOW. Because I could just go on and on and on, and I'd get angrier and angrier. I know how I've listened to you carry on about how you hate this arrogant atheism that's backed by little to nothing. Do you really want to do that? And I was like, yeah, I hear you. That's sort of, I know what you mean. It's.
I would say have it like not as your main focus, But even doing like a video or two about like if you're gonna make if you're gonna make claims, I guess I don't know. You would say it more eloquently than I would, but like if you're gonna make claims, do the research behind it, because now you're making other atheists look like idiots. There's no problem with atheism. It's these people who claim to be atheists who
Just God
are
bashers.
doing this to the community.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's, like I said, it's you have Sargon making a distinction now that maybe he said it before and I didn't catch it. I certainly don't watch like everything he puts out, so maybe he said it before,
Right.
but it seems like he's saying it more often now than he did before. I'm an atheist. I'm not an anti-theist. I'm not looking to bring down religion. I just think for me, it's these things, and it's kind of like, I don't know, man, that sounds like a back step. Not a back pedal, but a step back from what you said before in terms of, you know, I can't wait till this thing is gone. I distinctly remember him making claims along those lines, perhaps not those words. He certainly doesn't stop V from talking when V's there, because V's an anti-theist. Hardcore. He's like, we need to get rid of this thing.
What I said earlier is directed at anti-theists and not just your standard atheists.
It's like it's a rather, I think it's a rather inoffensive claim to say, oh yeah, you're into that? Oh, I'm not. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really into organized religion either, but these
Time to do some real damage. Through.
being somebody who's I don't know. I find it such a bastardization of the thing that makes science worthwhile to constantly have it invoked for such strange purposes. The entire purpose of science is to produce reliable results. It's like, how do you know that this claim is accurate? Because it came out of a methodology that has highly reliable conclusions coming out of it. And why? Well, because of the way it's structured.
It's racist, though, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
And sexist. It's racist and sexist.
It
Science.
is racist and sexist, that's right, yes.
Homophobic.
Yes,
Oh, right,
that
also
too.
homophobic. And transphobic.
And imperialist and colonial and
People cower
Yeah.
in fear while I
Dominated
walk
misogynistic.
by.
like, to me, my favorite lolcow video of all time. Like, I can't believe this is a thing and this happened. Like, what's is the school in South Africa where the girl is talking in their they're having a committee meeting. No, a debate meeting. And she said, we need to wipe the slate clean of science because science begins with Western imperialism and Western colonialism, so therefore is, steeped in these things. It's like, there's a people that believe that you can strike your enemy with lightning. How does science explain that? And the guy, remember, yells out, because it's not true.
Yeah.
They all freaked out. They were like,
This
she
is a
stuck
safe
her hand out like,
space.
see, this is what I'm up against. And it's like,
Yeah, and this is a safe space, and you, what was it? You violated the terms of being able to sit in here by making this not a safe space for people of color.
yeah, but
And
if
you
I
need to
remember
make-
correctly, and I might be wrong, she used the term sacred. And
Yes.
if that's the vibe that's going on there, that you don't speak over other people because it, I think there's a distinct difference between, like, are you employing the notion of a sacred space, which is definitely different than a safe space. I mean, school, I think you'd agree with me on that. Like,
Yes. Yes.
I totally agree that if everyone agrees to a place, a space being sacred, then there's certain things you don't do there. Doesn't matter if you're a Catholic, you don't run into through the middle of a mass and scream bloody murder, because that's just not cool. You know what I mean? That's just not
Unless you absolutely need to scream bloody murder because someone died in the streets.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But you don't intentionally disrupt it for the purpose of disrupting it, which is, I think, what their claim was.
Yeah. You don't
and
know
it's like-
fire in the middle of a movie theater, essentially.
Unless, of course, the theater's actually on fire.
Unless, of course, the theater is actually on fire, but that's why they have fire alarms.
Yeah.
A pole. That's actually a law in Canada. You can't yell fire in a movie theater. You can't yell rape as like a joke.
The
You
I
can't
think
call
things
a
that
boy a
would
girl.
frustrate me the most would be the I heard these things somewhere said by someone at some point, so I'm going to repeat them as if they make sense. Because it lends, not my argument, but me credibility in terms of what I'm saying. So, the claim is upon you, saying, like, for example, there is a God. You've made the positive assertion, therefore, prove it. And you can't do that, therefore, you are wrong. Or the claim lay unproven. And the onus of proof is upon you because you're making the positive assertion. But you can't prove God doesn't exist. I don't have to because I can't prove a negative. I cannot count how many variations of this statement I have heard. And I don't even know where to start describing how fucked up it is. It's actually wrong. One, you can prove a negative. I can think of 3 ways to prove a negative. You can prove a negative by a derivation, a logical derivation. You can demonstrate that something is in fact not the case. You can prove a falsehood mathematically, that 2 plus 2 equals 5, and through a mathematical derivation demonstrate that that's not the case, hence a negation is wrong. And you can prove through, absence. The evidence of absence argument that something is wrong, that something is not the case. The classic example is a teapot. If something has correlated truth values that only one of them can be true at one time, there either is tea in the pot or there is not tea in the pot. You can prove that there is not tea in the pot by proving that the opposite is the case. Therefore, you have in fact proved a negative. You open the teapot, you look inside. There is tea there. You have now demonstrated it is true that there is not. Do you see what I'm getting at? You can.
Yeah.
It's a jar full of jelly beans. There either is 500 in there or there's not. You can prove the negative of it. So this idea that, why are you repeating that? Why they're repeating it is because it sounds good.
Yeah.
And it gets the onus of proof off of them when they actually are making a positive assertion. It is the case that a materialist worldview explains every natural event. That's the atheist claim. Don't act like you're not asserting something. You are asserting something. The universe exists by natural processes that can be explained through material means. In every case without exclusion.
Yeah.
Prove that.
And they can't.
Well, but this is the when that has happened, and I've had it come up, and Christopher Hitchens made this one statement, and everybody repeats it ad infinitum, ad nauseum too. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So if you're going to claim that there's God, you better be able to have some extraordinary evidence to back that up, and something that can be examined out in the open. So Jesus rose from the dead is not that kind of evidence because it cannot be examined objectively out in the open. Okay, Jesus rise from the grave. So that's not the extraordinary evidence that I would go by. I would respond with the entire universe and all the items within it can be explained by natural processes alone through a material explanation. While that would require some extraordinary evidence, go. The claim of agnosticism, I don't know, is more sustainable than atheism is. And I get frustrated with this stuff because it's like that's an ad hominem. I can't prove a negative. You're making an argument from absurdity. You don't even know what these fucking terms mean. You just heard some idiot on a fucking YouTube video saying them.
Yep.
Besides, it's not an ad hominem. You're a fucktard because you just made a statement that would only be uttered by a fucktard. You just made said statement. Ipso facto, you're a fucktard. That's not an ad hominem argument, it's an apt description.
Yep. Ad hominem is using insults in an argument so that, because that's the only thing you can do, right?
Technically speaking, an ad hominem is using one of your base assertions is a point about the person, be it positive or negative, as building to a conclusion. You have claimed that water is wet, but your mother dresses you funny. Therefore, water is not wet.
Okay, yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's somewhere in your conclusion, somewhere leading up to your conclusion, your premises contain an argument, contain an item. One of the premises is about the person.
Like, Riley J. Dennis's arguments are stupid because of the Adam's apple that she has on her throat.
It would, yeah, it would have to include like an ad hominem, like to point out the fallacy of an ad hominem would actually have to, because it's a formal logical fallacy, which means somebody would have to have actually presented it as a formal argument, like a disjunctive syllogism or whatever. So it'd be like, Riley J. Dennis asserts that Islam is actually very trans-friendly, which Riley's done that. Made that argument. Riley asserts that Islam is trans-friendly, but Riley has a very prominent Adam's apple. Therefore, Islam is not trans-friendly.
That doesn't
okay.
make any sense.
It doesn't follow, right? It's like, but Riley has offered that Islam is trans-friendly. Here is a massive stack higher than I stand of evidence that Islam is not trans-friendly. Therefore, Riley is wrong. Islam is not trans-friendly. Do you see what I mean? Like that's so. If somebody says, "Dude, you're fucking ugly," oh, that's ad hominem. No, it's not actually. It's just me insulting you.
Yeah.
It's an ad hominem when it's part of it, when it's a premise in an argument. But what does this matter? I just used Latin, therefore I must be smart.
Yeah, that's also done, which is stupid.
Yes.
Just because you can use big words doesn't mean that you're intelligent. It just means you're good at remembering big words.
You know who doesn't do these things? Like, and they're actually pretty fucking awesome at what they do, even though I disagree with their position.
Me.
Vernaculus. Vernaculus is solid. Not an expert in philosophy, but he doesn't do stupid things. You know what I mean? Like, he just doesn't roll like that. Naked 8. I miss Naked 8, man.
Yeah,
He
where'd
hasn't
he
put
go?
a video up in I don't know how long.
Where did he go?
He said, well, his last thing he said, I got a job. So, and it's more than a full-time job. It's more than 40 hours a week. I might not be able to post as many videos as I have been, and that was it. I haven't actually checked on Twitter. I'm horrible at staying active.
I don't think he has a Twitter.
So.
Yeah, you are
No?
pretty bad at
Okay.
staying on Twitter.
I am.
You missed
So
the
I
fact that you
don't
were going to
know.
be on stream tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have
Nearly.
been a bad miss, huh?
Yeah, it would have been. Dude, that's an opportunity for you. Get known by the monkey crew.
I'm trying to think of. I wanted to write down some things that I want to talk about, but they've got such a tight format already that it's like, do you even really need to show up with anything other than yourself? I don't know. Like, they've got MSS News working for them, and
Be ready just in case.
You don't need to bring anything.
no.
Hammer
Hey,
says
Hammer.
no. So.
Hammer said
listening.
no.
I would say you need at least an opinion for their deep topic, and
But that's kind of, whenever it comes up.
You don't
That's
know what
it.
that deep topic is until it's...
right. And that's yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you interrupt Scribe once at least, though.
I will.
During the news, make sure. And just tell him, I just want to make sure I interrupted you once.
I didn't want you guys to miss SDA too
It'll get a
much.
laugh.
Are we still streaming, Platty?
Yeah, this will be the last one, last game that I'll stream though. But yes.
Okay. I just thought I would ask so Hammer knows.
The match starts soon.
I'm literally the only person watching though, so I mean it'll be
Platy's
live.
playing a game, and we're talking about Holly making content
Oh yeah,
and other topics.
look
that's
honestly.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs.
Honestly, that's
Yeah,
okay.
that'll be a funny part when they ask me about.
An enemy ship is pulling into the harbor.
So it's YouTube
Capricorn.
time. So what have you done lately? Fuck all. Fuckery videos. Go check them out. They're little 8-second stupid clips that I put up for cheap laughs.
Hey, Far's one was
You
amazing.
can always talk about the
Dog's been
minions.
captured.
You could.
Far's one is hilarious in group. Out of
Taking the
group,
bazaar
it's
from
like
you.
madness. You know.
Yes.
You could talk about the minions. Like the channel about.
Well, yeah, I guess there's the thing, right? It would be like, what are you doing on YouTube? It's
I am not turning
live
all
reads
that.
and commentaries that I am lazy about
Taking the
posting.
archway.
Wow, we just dominated those guys.
I guess I could do
You heard it
that.
here, folks.
Post some of the commentaries so at least they're up when I say it.
Yes.
Time to do some real damage.
Can you actually
heard
do
it
that
here,
yet?
folks.
Have you finished editing them?
Almost, but what the biggest holdback is from doing that is I can't post anything on that channel because it's unverified over 15 minutes.
Oh, right. So you need to verify it in order to...
Yeah, I mean, I could post them on my own channel, but I had thought to post them on, because my own channel's verified, but the Polystreams one isn't, which I've really got to rename. It's like there's that Polynesian musician that goes by Polystream.
Why is this guy just running around not swinging at anything? I don't understand.
Autism.
You've lost the dock.
Oi.
I knew that would get a rise out of you. Oh, instead of... Hey, Zal.
Is Elthor's here?
If you're talking, we can't
Lord of
hear
Almond,
you.
right?
Yeah. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Be ready to give the signal.
No, he's
and
mic's
return
muted.
fire once the cannons
Oh,
loaded.
okay. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll read bad fanfic
Damn it.
with the ocean playing in the background.
What day do you want to do your birthday stream on there,
Your enemy
Zelthor?
took the archway. Cannons loaded.
I mean, I could understand if you didn't want to do it the day of your birthday, but you want to do like the Christmas commentary one, right? And if you pick the film you want to watch yet, or number of shorts you wanted to watch yet?
Replenishing.
Blue team ring the bell.
What? I was on there.
Cannons.
Oh, right.
I remember Zelthor was saying before he wanted to do maybe do Jingle All the Way.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What day is your birthday anyways,
They've
Elthor?
taken the bazaar from you.
I'm trying to remember. It's like December 8th or 12th or something like that.
20th, I think?
Or 20th?
I think it's closer to Christmas than actual, like, beginning or the end.
Oh, hey, Hammer, you missed all the priest, a minister, and a rabbi jokes. Oh. Darn. I got curious if those were an actual thing, so I looked a bunch of them up online.
Replenishing.
And then it got horribly anti-Semitic.
Jesus.
It did.
Not really. They're just Holocaust jokes.
Let's see here. Look at Twitter for Naked Ape.
I couldn't find him.
Oh, no? Okay.
No.
Well, here's one person asking what the hell happened to Naked 8.
Maybe the thought police got him?
He doesn't live in Canada.
Wait, you have actual thought police out in BC?
Be ready to give the signal.
Not
and
yet,
return fire
but I'm
once
pretty
the
sure they're going
cannons
to be
are
a
loaded.
thing.
I'm pretty sure we lost this one.
Your
I mean, it
enemy
is
took the
Canada.
archway.
Yeah, we need to get rid of all the liberals in our parliaments.
No, we need to get rid of the useless liberals in our parliament.
I don't see this distinction.
Ring the
You
bell
need
to
some
signal
useful
them to fire.
idiots.
Replenishing.
Good God almighty, what the hell is that thing?
You've lost the dock.
Okay, where's Q?
Use a hand over here.
Wow. Yeah, fucking, this game's a lost cause.
There we go. So we decided to. This is for Hammer and maybe Eeyore. I don't know if Eeyore was here when we said this. Decided to call the guy that I'm kind of seeing. I don't know what it. Yeah, seeing. We're gonna call him Frat Boy because I'm schoolboy, and running joke is I go for older guys. So if I'm still in school, he's a frat boy. I don't know. It's funny.
Okay.
He's a DJ, so when I actually, get my ass in gear and start making videos, because I downloaded
Gay.
Oh my god, Zelthor comes in with that.
I liked it.
Our
That's
little
pretty funny.
savage.
It was
I've
pretty
been spending the night on the crowd server. I wonder what you expected.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah, what is the crowd server like?
It's
Savage.
It's all alt-righted
it's a bag
out right
of
now,
mixed
isn't it?
nuts. It's a bag of mixed nuts. It's really it can be really unpleasant, but also fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Some days you get a nice roasted salty cashews, others you get a raisin, if you know what I mean.
No, but
No,
I get like
not at
get-
all, and I don't want to know.
Keep your raisins away from me.
love raisins. Nice. Yeah, so he's a DJ. So, when I actually get my ass in gear,
Alright.
I asked him if it would be possible for him to mix an intro. And he's totally up for it. So,
Good lord, I've just been spammed with videos from far. Alright guys, I'm gonna end the stream, and there's 3 people
Okay.
watching now, dang it. So,
that's right.
what the hell? There we go.